when he was second on the grid yesterday, and managed to get past Dan Zelos going up into Druids in the earlier race. And for this one, it is Max Hall that starts on pole position with Dan Zelos just behind him. Then Marlo Cordell looking for a hat-trick of podia. Nathan Edwards on row 2. Lewis Selby next up from Jamie Osborne. Fourth row, Tom Ovenden and Josh Porter. Lydia Walmsley and James Griffith are next up. Then Nelson King and Don Wheatley on row 6. Matt Hammond. Next to him is Bradley Gravitt. Then we get into the JCW Sport Runners, led by Championship leader Dylan Hotchin. Chris McKenzie is next up from Cameron Richardson and Ben Crossley. Completing the grid, and there's a story here, it is Scott Lear. The story with Scott Lear at the back of the grid is that 2 weeks ago, he didn't even know he was going to be racing. He'd never even thought about racing. He made inquiries about getting a Quaife gearbox for his own road-going Mini, and various conversations happened, and the end result is that they put him through the ARDS course, they got his overalls, and less than 2 weeks later, he's out there on a JCW grid, Paul.
And now he's full factory Repsol coloured, bloody amazing. I mean, the car looks absolutely stunning, and he's just looking like a factory driver, isn't he? Absolutely stunning. I mean, imagine waking up knowing you're going to drive a Repsol coloured, looks like a factory entry. And like, he must be thinking, just get those cameras off me, please.
And it's the development car. It's the one that is using the developmental fuel. They're trying to get more and more environmentally friendly with the lubricants and fuel that goes into the car. So we're not expecting him to set the world on light track-wise. He's not going to, because it's his first race meeting. But he is comes from Frome, down in Wiltshire. He's got relatives, actually. He said when he was watching the signpost on the road coming up here, he's got family roots in Lewisham, which isn't too far away as well. But a lovely story, lovely guy to meet, fantastic. Wish him well with his ongoing motorsport career, should he choose to go that way.
Definitely, such a fantastic thing to jump into as well, and you know, that sport category, fantastic. So I'm so happy to see these people coming through in this development car. So that's the kind of stuff we want to see. Give them a taste and see what it's all about.
So the pole position car, Max Hall, the youngster, moving up from the Cooper Championship, and well, he's really set a marker this weekend. He'll be absolutely gutted with that non-start effectively in race number 1, the issue with the drive shaft, but the team have sorted that out as we watch Scott Lear moving into his position at the back of the grid. And incidentally, his finish in race 1 of the day was the longest stint he'd had in the car, believe it or not, so far.
Oh, and he's picked the right day for it, hasn't he?
He really did, he really did. Brake issues in race number 1, but we have a look at the race. Hall and Zelos on the front row of the grid. Hall and Zelos get away well. Zelos trying to make it good up towards Paddock Hill Bend and draw level with his younger rival, and Zelos is going for the lead. He's got his nose in front as he goes to Paddock Hill Bend, squeezes Hall onto the curbs. Is he going to be able to do it? Hall's going to try and get the run up into Druids the hairpin, and the eyes have it on the inside line. It's Max Hall. What a battling first corner that was.
Wow, Maximus Hall, you are the boy. That was so brave on cold rear tyres into Paddock Hill Bend. Zelos will have his eyes wide open after that.
That was a real marker, wasn't it, for the chat? This is going to be, I'm rubbing my hands together metaphorically here, for what should be a great season between those two. Nathan Edwards up ahead of Jamie Osborne. A little bit further back, we've got Lydia Walmsley in the light blue and pink car. Josh Porter ahead of her. Don Wheatley squeezes through on the inside run. Then I think we've got, that should be Brad Gravitt, is it? Brad having a look to try and squeeze through, trying to put a miserable weekend for him thus far behind him. Lydia goes high and wide into Paddock, might go for the switchback. No, can't quite do it from there. Lydia's just sort of settling into the meeting and trying to bag as many points as she can after a very frustrating Donington Park, frustrating for so many people, as Osborne now tries to challenge Nathan there, who is Nathan Edwards, the top driver in the rookie category right now. So he challenging hard, but all out front. Let's see what Osborne can do. Osborne's been on the back foot just a little bit, I think, compared to Lewis Selby. Lewis really, Paul, seemed to get a lot of momentum with that win at Donington Park. It was a tyre choice, but he drove superbly. And that's Dylan Hotchin, the new class championship leader. Looks like he's got a problem.
Looked electrical because the car was stuttering and his head dropped back as he went full throttle and the car picked up again. So hopefully he can get out of the way and doesn't stop this action on this first couple of laps.
We'll see what he can do. It means we might get a different winner in terms of the sport. Cameron Richardson, I think, takes over at the top. He's in one of the Napa UK cars, 3 cars in that for this one. Wheatley and Brad Gravitt going side by side. I didn't manage to catch up with Dom after his lunge that he had earlier on in race number 1.
I'm just laughing, sorry Richard, at the that's a great camera angle at Graham Hill Bend. If you race cars, you just know how easy it is to hit them bollards, but they're quite heavy. And if you hit them hard enough, they'll do some damage, so they'll have to be careful that they don't puncture radiators and snap off wing mirrors in these mini challenge cars. But yeah, it wasn't great, was it, that last race we watched with that contact into Paddock Hill Bend, but it was totally nobody's fault, that one.
I was going to say Dom paying the price for that now, but of course you don't now, because this is the main qualifying grid set. It's not a question of, oh, this is the result of race 2 with some reverse. The mini format has changed this year, which is quite good. I guess if you do have an issue in race 2, it means you can take your appropriately qualified for place in race 3.
Yeah, I like it. It just gives the right people the right coverage at the front. I think it's definitely something to see, but it is weird having a reverse grid as the middle race.
It's strange, but a lot of championships doing it. F4 doing it now. I think Ginetta were looking at it a few years ago when they were with us, and that was good to see. But Hall out front with the fastest lap as well, with clear track. Here's the start.
Yeah, look, again, watch this now. So Maximus Hall on the left, Dan Zelos on the right in the orange and black Davanti car. But watch now, he gets a big squeeze, and you think, oh, Zelos has done this. But to keep the power on the car, Maximus's car off the curb, that left rear nearly crying enough, could have broke both of their races, to be fair, which was absolutely stunning. And that, like you said, Richard, earlier on, that is quite defining, I think, in the championship, because it shows Dan Zelos he ain't gonna have it all of his way. And great livery on Max Hall's car, but I've got to say, I watched that kid trackside as a spectator at Donington Park, and how he took one of the corners, a very technical corner in McLean's. I couldn't believe my eyes. That this guy on your screen is going to challenge hard, and it's great to see.
One of the ex-front runners in the Legends Cars Championship, comes from the same part as the world as Max. And he said, oh, here you've got Max, to watch out for him, he's a quick lad. And this guy was quick on his own as well. And it just shows the talent that's coming up, that Mini are nurturing up through the Coopers. We look forward to seeing them a couple of occasions this year. We'll see them at Croft, we'll see them at Thruxton as well, and more drivers like Maximus Hall coming through and challenging the old guard, if we can call Zelos like the old guard. But he's not taking it lying down, is Dan Zelos. He's responded with the fastest lap as he tries to close in on Hall now, as you can see. So it's Hall from Zelos. There's Selby again, punching above his weight, isn't he? The director's class, it's the older class driver in 3rd place. I think he's really been buoyed by that Donington Park drive, and rightly so.
So he should be. He's definitely coming through your screen now in that 18. He is proper. He's literally got his dander up. Someone else has got the dander up. That's Nathan Edwards trying to make a move on Cordell, isn't it? He had his first podium yesterday, you were telling me, Rich.
That's right, yeah. Back that up with a second one in race 2. Is he going to make it a hat-trick here? One suggests not, because he's got Selby ahead of him. So Cordell at the moment in 4th, but this is none too shabby. A 2/3 and a 4th for Marlo Cordell. Real progress for him. Nathan Edwards wants to try and move up on him as well and take the Interclens car up towards the podium. He's got the rookie championship lead, but a lot of these drivers having a look now. Wrong side as they come down Graham Hill Bend, but this is notice of intent on the Jam Sport man. The Accelerate man just, well, he's going to have a go. Might get the cutback here if he can maintain the momentum, and he can't quite do that. And this is bringing now Tom Ovenden, another graduate, of course, of the Cooper Championship, moving up, and they really are feeding the JCW class now.
Yeah, the Cooper kids are flying. They're really doing a fantastic job. They're really showing that you can compete at the highest level in the mini ladder. So proper stuff, and fair play to them, because it's not easy. Different power, different driving style, and brilliant to see.
And of course, new tyre, not a new compound in tyres this year. It's a new build, it's a new construction of tyre, but on the same compound. So a lot of drivers have had to relearn what they're doing, or try and get more testing in to cope with the new type tyre.
Yeah, it's not easy to do. And some of the teams will take a while to get on top of it, and some of the teams just get it going straight away. So it's really good stuff.
So Hall still out front, 7/10 the gap on the last tour from Dan Zelos, who still retains the fastest lap of this race. Quick look down the order, it's Cam Richardson heading for a second JCW Sport win at the moment. Ben Crossley second, and Chris McKenzie just lost out on a class win. On the last corner, he drifted wide, the Bitcoin Racing man, losing out. But you know what? He was happy. He's enjoying his racing. He knows that he's got the speed within him to grab a class win. As we go back to the overall leader, this Paul is isn't it a replay of what happened yesterday? Zelos not getting too close because the car will overheat if he gets too close. But having said that, he might be a tad closer than he was in yesterday's race.
Yeah, but when I watch the two drivers at the front, what I see is Max Hall, and I know how good Dan Zelos is. Max Hall has not missed an apex, and Dan Zelos, to me, in the second place car, looks like he's just trying that little bit harder to stay with him, and I think that will actually win Max Hall the race. But back to Nathan Edwards having a right old go at Marlow Cordell.
Yeah, both this local track, we live in different areas, but great to see both of these lads out there and racing. Wonderful to see Marlow Cordell back. I think it was a late sign-up for the championship this year, but fantastic to see him in. That's one of the sport cars that just gets past, I think, and safely negotiated by these guys, dicing it out for fourth position at the moment. Tom Ovenden trying to close in as well. Nelson King further back. Some really class drivers right the way through the top 10. The numbers a little bit down on last season, as they are for many championships in the UK. I think racing as a whole feeling the squeeze a little bit monetary wise.
Yeah, definitely. But the total package always seems to still have a fantastic lineup of drivers across supports and also the top line touring car package. But like you say, we've got to look after the grassroots, Richard, because that's where we get the drivers from. Yeah,
they all love coming in. It can be cost effective starting further down, but then it gets expensive when you start moving up. No motor racing is cheap, of course, and it is all still there from Zealand. Look at the gap back to third place. Selby here, banging in some good. Do not be surprised to see Lewis Selby knocking on the door of the championship. You've only got to have the odd drama for two guys. It's Lydia Walmsley again having a great battle with Josh Porter. And coming up as well there is Jamie Osborne looking to try and get stuck in, but you know, Lydia fighting the car. She was saying during the lunch break that feels it's maybe a little bit down on power. She certainly wasn't losing racecraft, as it were. She had a fine dice with Josh Porter. They passed and repassed each other, but power-wise, I think maybe needs to get the car on the dyno if they can do that.
Yeah, so Lydia Osborne. Oh, that was Josh Porter having a massive moment. That's why Lydia was right into the back of him and closing up. Nathan Edwards in the 21 is now in the slipstream of Marlow Cordell. This could be a move at paddock, but it might not be close enough. It's going to be a big dive. If he does, that's a great dive, but no, it's too late. And look at Marlow. Oh, he's pushed him into a mistake, and brilliant stuff from Nathan Edwards. That's job done. Clever driving.
Got in his head, didn't he, there, I think. And Marlow, good driving from him. Sees he's coming through, wants to get across before Tom Ovenden could nick the place as well. And Nathan Edwards, Paul, again, going back to Cooper's. We'll have a replay of this and then come back to Nathan in a minute.
Yeah, look, he wasn't even intending on putting a pass on him, Nathan Edwards. He was really slow at the apex because he slowed down so much. But all he was doing, and I say to people I coach, is just weave around a bit, show your nose, show them that you're there. They'll make a mistake. And well, you can see now Marlow is doing the same now to Nathan in front of him.
Is that free advice? Now we're going to get loads of people. So Paul O'Neill told me live television to weave about when they go to the course.
If there's no one behind you, weave as much as you want. Just don't turn yourself around and blame me and the clerk at the course office. But look at Nathan now, he's having to defend, and Marlow's back at him.
Oh! Go on, fair play, Marlow. Look at this.
No, he's got a problem.
Oh no, didn't want that to happen.
That's a puncher front left, maybe. That is a problem on the front left. There's no way he's not going to. That's in a bad position. That looked like a front left failure of some sort. That.
Yeah, I was going to come to the point that, you know, Nathan, I think, is a lot happier being in JCWs because the Coopers were so crowded, and very often he would get stuck with lots of other drivers in the mix, and we had lots of hoo-has and shenanigans. So for him, the opportunity to move into JCWs has given him a bit more breathing space to practice his racecraft and his tactics, as with the other drivers. But shame he's out.
Yeah, it's very much like the Legends, to be honest. You know, you've got quite a bit of drafting in the Coopers, but if you get stuck in position, you're stuck in position, so it's a bit of a difficult one. That car's still there on the exit of the gravel trap at Paddock Bend, so that car will probably stay there. Will they send a safety car out? I don't know. They might just cover it with yellows, but there's a long way to go. Nathan Edwards. Is he going to look at that front left? Yes, he is.
He did, yeah.
Something wrong there. It could be a breakage, it could be a tyre. Let's have a look. I can't quite see. There you go. Yeah, so he's hit the brakes as soon as he's felt something go on, and he's tried to release the brakes to try and get going. He's done the right thing there, but yeah, he was going to be out of that race anyway. That front left has failed him in some way or another.
That's a shame, but, you know, as I said, leading the Rookie Championship, coming into the race, knows he's got pace to head up towards the podium, and he can regroup, bring that back to Snetterton next time back. Meanwhile, a little recap. Here's our race leader, Max Hall. Dan Zelos in P2. Lewis Selby, he's a little way down the road. Here he is, our Lewis, leading the directors category, our race winner from Donington. But behind him, this is what we've been looking at. Marlowe Cordell is back into 4th place, but Ovenden and King, both front runners, and Walmsley all trying to close up, with Josh Porter trying to get on terms with Lydia Walmsley. Down behind them, Don Wheatley. Then we've got Jamie Osborne, Matt Hammond, Bradley Gravitt, Cam Richardson still leading the sport class from Ben Crossley, Chris McKenzie, and Lydia, as I say, fighting the car this weekend. She was one of the quickest drivers in the wet, wasn't she, at Donington, to be fair? Yeah,
and it's such a shame because she's kind of being strangled a bit there where she is, because I do believe that she should be a lot higher up, but like you say, in this heat, and if the car is just a little bit out the window, you're going to struggle to get away and challenge. But like I say, she's been very impressive at the start of this year. She's got flashes of speed, which says to me she's going to get a podium this year.
As I've mentioned many times before, no apologies for saying so, race winner in the Coopers at Snetterton, which is their home round. I know Mike, her dad's not going to be very pleased with me saying that, because that will build expectations for her at Snet next time out. But Marlowe Cordell, now he's not in the podium position here, but in the podium habit with 2, and Jam Sport, Jamie Going and the team giving him a great car this weekend. And I don't think has got a JCW teammate. He had Antwort Niels for company last time out, running as a guest, and as ever was quick. And this has been a really cracking weekend for Marlowe, to know that he can get onto the podium and have the likes of Tom Ovenden challenging him, the likes of Nathan Edwards getting stuck in as well. And at the moment, he is to the good of them, with another good 4th place in the offing. Where is he in the championship? He's not going to be far away, Marlowe. I think he's 5th in the standings at the moment, so could even go up to top 3 with this.
What I like about the 27 Cordell is that he's got somebody very good close behind him, but he is not massively over defending and putting himself on the back foot. He's driving his line as best as he can. Look at that. So never once have I seen him in this battle think I've got to defend and slow himself up. He's just trying to drive his own line and make sure he gets out the corner as well. Very controlled stuff. I like this kid.
I hope that's not the kiss of death.
Probably. Look, every apex, bang.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely superb stuff, isn't it? And Tom Ovenden equally, just trying to close down on him. He's still got 5 minutes left to maybe just get under that rear spoiler and have a little nibble. But yeah, very even Stevens between these. It's almost like a classic sort of bit of Clio racing, where you used to see not too much in the way of overtaking, but just matching each other wheel for wheel, lap on lap, and giving us some good action. I think King's dropped away a little bit now, hasn't he? He's just lost a little bit of momentum. As Porter, he hasn't. He's still trying to have a go. Don Wheatley trying to close in. He's the orange and black car just behind. Wheatley, incidentally, I found out yesterday, coached by Rowan Campbell-Pilling's dad. Rowan Campbell-Pilling, who's the leading the rookies in F4.
Didn't know that.
Yep, and Dom's family cheering on Rowan this weekend as well. And there is Ovenden still trying to close in.
Tom will feel like he's in an oven. Oh, look at
will.
That kiss of death I have given Marlowe. He's just had a little bit of rear grip loss into clearways and into the apex. So, but it's not done anything. If anything, he's actually made a gap. What do I know? He's made a gap from that little bit of rotation at the rear. And I mean, to have that rotation at this stage in the races, that tells me that car is very well set up. You never want to get to the end of a race and the front tyres just giving up. His look like it's the rear tyres struggling to actually stick the grip down. So that is perfect in a front wheel drive car. You want it to rotate. And they had a little bit of, he's having to defend now because he hit the curbs at Grey Mill Bend. This is it, it's on now.
Let's see what Tom Ovenden can do. Well, as you said, car set up well. Any of the teams involved in the championship will provide you with the car and set you up with a a mega machine to come racing with. The pressure is on Ovenden. Where can he do it now? He's going to take a slightly tighter line as they come onto the main straight. Has he got the overlap? Not quite, didn't have the momentum there, but he's definitely worrying the fourth place man now, and Nelson King will sense that there's an opening here potentially for maybe one place, possibly two. If King engages Ovenden, that's the third of these cars engages the second, it might take the pressure off Cordell. They've only got 3 minutes to go. This could change. Is it going to? Are we going to see a lunge? Don't think we will from Ovenden. So pleased to see him here. Remember him winning the Cooper Championship last year and announcing at Brands Hatch that he wasn't able to race this year. Great to see him here. And the same with Max Hall. And Zelos, still fastest lap, is closing in. We might have a grandstand finish on the cards.
I'd like to say that this is being managed, but that is not managing a race lead. That is not what you want to see as a Devante tired car driven by Dan Zelos with number 1 on the front of it catching you up. So, yeah, but Dan Zelos now will have to push hard to get past.
Dan Zelos, I marvel at the way he stuck at his racing. It took him seemingly a good while to get wins. He won in Ginetta Juniors, but wasn't racking them up because it's such a competitive competition here. Jamie Osborne through on the inside of the 14 car, Dom Wheatley. Osborne raises a wheel as he goes over the curb. Wheatley's going to repay the compliment.
Wow, that was a real hop, skip and a jump. These cars are very stiff, and you've got to watch the curb strikes because it really can slow you down on the exit, which it did. But Dom Wheatley now around the outside. Is he going to get that done? Oh, that was a headbutt, wasn't it?
A little nudge.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. She'll be giving him some signals in the rear window.
Very possibly.
Wow.
So now we've got closing up as well is Matt Hammond in the red 888. Wheatley goes for the wide line into clearways, almost leaving the door open, but he's got plenty of momentum to stay up front. Meanwhile, Dan Zelos, is this a timed move? Is he now? He's not got too much on the clock. Is it time for him to close in and have it? Probably not. He'd have wanted the lead earlier on and to try and pull away if he knows he's faster.
He's definitely trying to catch Maximus Hall up, but the one thing about Hall is that, again, look how precise that lead car is being driven. You watch now. He'll just get it turned in. The apex isn't a problem. Yeah, this is world-class stuff from these two. This is proper, but now that is close. That's too close for comfort now. That's defending. That's got to have to be defended. That maybe is it into Paddock Hill Bend. It's going to have to be defended somewhere because he's getting close. Yeah,
Max Hall is learning this role, isn't he, in JCW's first full season, one meeting last year, and he's got the multi-champion right behind him, and at the moment he's used to soaking up the pressure. These two, remember, teammates, and long may they stay. I haven't seen them together. It's not to say they don't socialise and they nod and have a handshake and everything else, but both great lads and giving us some good racing.
As it should be. I want to see competition. I'm sick of seeing people being so nice to each other. That's fine in real life, but I want to see some proper, you did this to me. Oh, Lydia.
Yeah, Josh Porter tries the outside. Is Lydia going to squeeze him over onto the curbs? Not quite. Are we going to run out here? This could be a checkered flag. We'll have a look. The last lap board is out, so this could well be the checker. It is the checkered flag being readied. And Max Hall, it's Max Hall 2, Dan Zelos 1 is the football score over the weekend.
That is a big result for Maximus Hall. He has just held off the champion proper.
There we come. What about third place? Well, Lewis Selby is in third, Marlo Cordell in fourth. So Selby in the 18 car takes the Masters win, or Directors Trophy to give it its correct name, of course, for the Mini Championship. And then Marlo Cordell holds on for fifth position from Tom Ovenden. Nelson King next up. Lydia Wormsley will be, I think, probably happy with some consolatory points